Hey guys, on today's video, as part of our continuing detailing supplies, procedures, etc. tests, as you see from the title, I'm going to be doing a wash mitt shootout. We're going to be using the Adams. This is a, I think 10-inch wash pad. I have used these before. In fact, I've used these for years. You see them on my video almost every single time I wash. This is a synthetic lamb's wool, imitation lamb's wool. Then we'll also be using the Chemical Guys Bear Claw. This is also a synthetic lamb's wool. This has a little bit longer nap to it than the Adams. Then, which I've never ever used before, I'm going to be using a real lamb's wool mitt. This is actually Australian Merino lamb's wool. It's real, it's not fake. And then we're going to be checking and using the Rag Company's Cyclone. Now this is a microfiber wash mitt. Now I got to tell you that I love this style of wash mitt, the synthetic, for several reasons. Number one, they last a long time. Number two, they hold an enormous amount of soap water solution. And they won't scratch your paint. That's the three things that I like about that. The other three I've never used before. We're going to find out which one's the best. Maybe they're all equal. I don't know. And then you can go back and go to Amazon if you want and try them. The soap that I'm going to be using, I didn't have any particular reason for picking this. I have so many car soaps from all the tests. I'm going to be using the Mother's Carnauba Wash and Wax. No reason I chose it. I just reached down and that's the one I picked up and I need to use it. Anyway, so the way I'm going to do this test is I'm going to pre-foam the car, pre-wash it with the MTM submachine gun style foamer, the PF22. I'm going to run that fast speed and speed it up so the video is not very long. If you don't have a pressure washer, that's fine. Just hose it down as best you can with your garden hose. And I'm not even going to measure how much of the car soap I'm going to use because it really doesn't matter. I have so much soap. But what we're going to do is we're going to weigh each of these wash mitts, see how much they weigh without the packaging and without any water in them. And then we'll just do the test and I'll give you my impressions and try to figure out maybe if I found a better mitt or if they're all good. I don't know, but we'll find it out together. It's about 78 degrees. I hope it won't rain. It's been raining for the last 4 days. So let's go get this done. So the Honda is very dirty. It hadn't been washed in like 2 weeks. And no, I'm not going to use any of these mitts to wash the wheels. I'm just kind of giving you an overview of how dirty it is. Alright, so let's go ahead and get our pre-wash on the car and let that be soaking. Alright, I've got my food preparation scale here with a plastic container. I've got it zeroed out. So first up is going to be the Adams pad and we'll see how much that weighs. Let's zero this out again. Alright, it weighs 4.2 ounces. That's for the Adams, 4.2 ounces. Next up, the Chemical Guys Bear Claw. Weighs 4.9 ounces. The real Australian Merino lamb's wool 5.3 ounces. And next up, wow, this is substantial. The Rag Company Cyclone weighs in at 6.6 ounces. Now obviously all these are dry weight. So what I'm going to do next is we'll get the camera set back up after we let this pre-wash dwell for 6 minutes and rinse it off. Okay, so first up, I'm going to be using, clearly that's my favorite so far, is the Adams wash pad. I know how this performs. So this holds an enormous amount of water. I wish there was a way I could kind of scientifically measure this. I guess I could let it, I don't know. But anyway, what you notice is, because it holds so much water, that's what we're washing the car with. We're not really washing the car with that. That's just soap suds. You know, you got to think about what you're doing and what's actually occurring. So I'm going to do like I normally do. I'm going to wash half of the area that I normally wash, as I do on all my videos. And then I'm going to flip the wash pad over. And even though I've already washed that amount of area, the amount of soap solution that is still in this pad is it's really unbelievable. And after I get through, I'm going to show you how much is left still in here. And the reason is because this is such a dense but very fine nap. It holds just an enormous amount of moisture. Okay? So, and I hope you guys can see how much, I mean, this is just absolutely, it's crazy how much this holds. And no, I've heard people comment and say, oh, it'll scratch your paint. This will not scratch your paint. What will scratch your paint is improper washing using the 2-bucket method. Because as you notice, once I did each side, I'm going to put it in my bucket over here to be thrown in the washing machine, and then it'll get all the dirt and grit out. That water is still pristine. I had a clean mitt and a clean bucket. The water's still clean. So next, I'm going to try, which I've never used before, the Chemical Guys Bear Claw. Now this has a much longer nap to it, and it also has, it feels like maybe some type of a foam core in here. But let's, wow, this sucker holds a lot of water too. I mean, that is a lot of soap solution. So I'm just going to go ahead and give you my first impressions. It's very, very heavy right now. I would say it's heavier in the hand than the Adams. Because the nap is really long, it's not quite as dense as the Adams. I can certainly tell that. And it does feel like, it feels like there's some kind of a core, like maybe a foam core or something in here. I don't know, it could be wrong. I don't want to cut it open to see. But it is holding a lot of suds. I'm going to flip this over and just work my way down the panel, always going from top to bottom. I don't understand why a lot of people are resistant to this method, because if you think about it, I'm using 4 mitts to wash a car. So each mitt is only getting 1/4 of the wear that you would normally get. People say, well, these are expensive. Well, why would you buy extra buckets that say rinse and wash and grit guards and all that? So, and look at what this has picked up. Okay, I don't want to chance this not coming out in the rinse bucket, so I'm going to let the washing machine do it. But this has also an enormous, I would say, maybe slightly less amount of water coming out than the Adams. This really, I want you guys to see this. This Adams mitt foams the soap up maybe a little bit more than this, and it's just because the nap. It's just a different nap. This is a very short nap on the Adams. This is a very long nap. All right, now I'm going to be talking through the lamb's wool. This is real lamb's wool. I've never used real lamb's wool. This also feels like it may have a foam core in there. This is a smaller mitt than the other ones. This is also it's a long pile. So the Adams is a short pile, and the Chemical Guys is a long pile. Now, already I can tell that this is not foaming up quite as much as either of the other 2 pads. This is the most expensive of all 3 of them, for sure. But I do feel something that I don't feel. This is very slick on the surface. It almost feels slimy, if that is a good way to describe it. Now, keep in mind, obviously I'm using the same soap, and this is an actual mitt that you can actually put your hand in, which I don't ever do that. I feel that's just awkward. But it's very slimy feeling on the paint. So maybe a good use for this could be some of the car soaps that don't have quite as much lubrication. That may be a good use for it. This is definitely not my favorite mitt, for sure. It did pick up a nice amount of debris. All 3 of these are going to pick up a nice amount of debris. It's very sticky, if that's a word for a mitt, and it's very fibrous. And this is obviously the longest nap, I think, of even more than the bear claw. It is a little bit longer, so this is definitely the longer nap of all of them. This is the smallest, because this is an actual mitt. These are wash pads. It doesn't hold as much soap solution. I'm not like a pad that really holds a lot of soap solution, but it did a nice job. It felt nice in the hand. It felt very nice, better than the other 2 on the paint. So let's go ahead and try the Chemical Guys, or I'm sorry, the Cyclone from the rag company. Now this definitely has a foam core in it. This nap is somewhere in between the Adams and the Bear Claw from Chemical Guys. Now also keep in mind, this is microfiber. This is also not going to scratch your car. Okay, so don't worry about that. And it holds, gosh, this thing is heavy. All right, so I guess having the foam core in there, oh yeah, makes up for the shorter nap, and it's not as dense as the Adams or the Bear Claw, but this definitely holds more water than any of the 3 for sure that I've tested. Now, that's one thing I like. One thing I don't like is because this foam, I don't want to flip it yet, is because the foam core
is so thick in here that it almost feels like a sponge in the hand. As I'm washing this, it's not as flexible, but I like it. I do. I like it a lot. Now in the videos that you watch me do, you see me use the Chemical Guys, the microfiber stringy, I call it the Medusa. And I'm going to do an overview of the actual wash mitts that I use, but this is just the new ones that I had. And you always see me only using those on the front and back end of the car. The reason is because they're very good at removing sticky bug parts, insect residue. They don't hold a lot of water, and I don't like to use them on the big panels just for that fact. Now, they should have called this not the Cyclone, they should have called this the Camel. This thing, watch this. This thing holds an enormous amount of water. It foams the soap up very good, provides good lubrication. It kind of feels a little bit like the sheepskin, but just denser, and it has that kind of slick, slimy feeling to it. This would be really, really good on the flatter panels, the hood and the sides and all that. And maybe with use, this core would loosen up a bit, but it is kind of a sponge feeling as far as the density and the way that it feels. So which are my favorite ones? I see different applications on each one of these. I would have to say still my favorite is going to be this one, because this guy, even though I wring the water out of it, it just keeps foaming up. They all three have a slight slimy feel to them, and that could be indicative of the soap, but this guy I know will pick the dirt up and hold it in here. That's why I don't recommend the 2-bucket method, because this is so good at pulling the dirt in the pile. Rinsing it off in the bucket and scraping it on the grit guard is not going to get all the dirt out. It just can't. The only way you can do that is put it in the washing machine. So, which do I like best? I think I like the Adams the best. I don't dislike any of them. The Bear Claw is really nice. I would say, if I have to rank these, I would say this is a first place. These two, the Bear Claw and the Cyclone, would probably rank second place, but very, very equal, very close to each other, and very close to first place. It's almost like I could say all three of these were first, but I think the Adams has a little bit of an edge, but not far behind. And I would say third place is the real lambskin, sheep wool, whatever you want to call it. And it's not very far behind at all. All three of these are very, very good. All three of these are better than the green rope style microfiber that I use, but that has an advantage over all three of these, or all four of these, with getting bug guts off. So you can't lose with any of these. I will use all three of these. I'm going to intertwine them in the videos. I like all of them. I like all of them. And guys, I hope this video was helpful. I've been wanting to do this for a very long time. I have some other wash mitt things that I'm going to do. So I'm trying to intertwine these with the hybrid soap series, because that series is going to be long. It's going to be a long time before we get done with that series. But I appreciate everybody's help. I'm going to go ahead and rinse this. I'm going to run it fast speed. If you enjoy watching that,
Alright guys, well of course, as soon as I finished drying the car off and getting it all nice and shiny for my last review here, it's raining. So this is what I've been up with. This is what I've been fighting every day, but at least we were able to get the test done. And I just wanted to tell you guys I appreciate everybody's viewership. I'm going to put a link to each of the wash mitts that I featured in the shootout today, if you'd like to give them a try. Anyway, so it's raining again. It's going to be raining the next couple of days. Don't know when I'm going to be able to do another video, but you can rest assured I will. If you haven't subscribed, there's a little bell icon next to the subscription button. Hit that, subscribe, and then hit that bell, and you'll be notified as soon as I get a video up. And guys, I appreciate your viewership, and I will talk to you on the next video.